Hello. Yes, we are starting our new module today. We are starting Module 4, Lesson 1, and hopefully you have your new book to get that underway. Today's lesson is going to be a one-day lesson, and I'm very happy that they have decided to include the problem application as a part of your packet of things that you're going to be doing. That makes things a lot nicer for those of you who are distance learners, that you can actually do the same steps with us that we're doing here at school, and I apologize that that wasn't available to you before, but it is now. So we're going to remember that we always have to do the read, draw, and write along with cubes, which is circling the numbers, underlining the question, boxing the keywords, Xing out extra information, and setting the problem up to solve. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've shown you what you need to do as far as circling numbers, boxing keywords, and underlining questions. I've also divided my workspace into two parts because this is a two-step problem. You have two different answers that you need to come up with. The top half will be step 1, the bottom half will be step 2. And also over on the next page, you will need to write a statement that matches the story. All right, so you're going to start with your problem set, and then in a bit I will come back and show you what the solution to that was. Then you're going to move on to the problem set, and you need to make sure that you watch the video before you try to do these problems. I would definitely watch the videos before you try to do those problems. Okay, so I do want you to, be aware that down on problem number 3, you're going to need to also tell me what the rule pattern is. I had to write that in, so you will need to write that in as well. Okay, then you will continue on to the next page. You will be introduced to the arrow way on the video with Mr. Waldorf today. So this should be fairly self-explanatory. On your 2 word problems down below, you are going to be using the arrow way to be able to do this. And I will give you a little hint that you will need to break 23 and 12. If you'll break 23 into 2 10s and 3 1s, the arrow way will be very easy for you to do. And I would break this into 1 10 and 2 1s. I think you'll understand that a little bit better after you watch the video. I found that to be the easiest way to solve those problems, and hopefully you'll find that useful as well. And I'm going to move over to the exit ticket. I want to talk about you should never do the exit ticket until you're done with the problem set. I'm going to go back for just a second. You probably noticed that there is not a homework page for this. Nope, there is not a homework page. It did not come in the book that we just sent home with you, and we have decided as teachers that for right now we will not be including that homework page because that would just mean you'd have to come in and get more pages, which we're trying to avoid if we can. So if we feel like we need to split the lesson into 2 parts to be able to get that in, or if we need more practice, we'll let you know as we go along. All right, so there is no homework page. On the problem exit ticket, you are going to need to complete the pattern, but also tell me what the rule is. That is not written on your page. You will need to write that in because we will be looking for that. Also on problem number 2, I've changed the instructions completely. You need to complete each pattern, and then you're going to write the rule. So your first pattern is 52 to 42. Notice that I need that to go out 3 numbers, so you're going to need to add that last line, and then you need to explain what the pattern is, whether that is 1 more, 1 less, or up 10 or back 10, however you want to describe that pattern. And then for part B, you're going to be using the numbers 93, 94, and again, you're taking that out 3 numbers, and you're going to write the rule for the pattern. So the rule is, and you'll need to do that as well. That you will need to send to your teacher when you are all the way finished. So with that, I am going to get you started. If you haven't watched the video, you need to watch the video, complete the problem set, do the exit ticket, and then you'll be ready to go. So that's probably going to take you, I'm going to say between 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how quickly you work. And in just a minute, I will come back and explain the answer key for you. Of course, not the problem set, or not the exit ticket, but everything else. So go ahead and pause the video. Watch the video the Eureka video with Mr. Waldorf before you try to do these problems here. That would be a really good plan, and you can do the problem set whenever you want to do that. Alrighty, so we'll see you in a few minutes. Pause the video. Okay, are you back? All right, let's take a look at the two-step word or the problem application for lesson 1. Hopefully you came up with the solutions that I did. I did use the tape model. In the morning he found 23, and then in the afternoon Jacob found 10 more, and in the evening he found 1 more. So I used 2 equations to be able to solve that. I started with 23 plus 10 equaled 33, and I still had 1 more, so I needed to go 33 plus that 1 more gave me 34, which completed my number bond or my tape model with 34 being the solution to that problem. Hopefully you wrote out the sentence as well for step 1. Jacob found 34 shells in all. Then you needed to come down to step 2. I did a tape model of step 2. I know that he started with 34 because I found that out in problem step 1. I know that he gave 10 to his brother, so I set up an equation of 34 take away 10 equal 24, which changes my tape model to 24. How do I know that that's going to work? Because 24 plus 10 gives me 34. Jacob had 24 shells left. This is what we were looking for. So from there, you should have written in your next page, you should have written a statement that matches the story. This is the one I wrote. Yours does not have to be exactly like mine, but it should include all of the information. Jacob found 34 shells in all. After giving 10 away, he had 24 shells left. So that is something that we will be expecting from you as we have in the past, but this is a little addition that's been added in from the packet or the book that we gave you. All right, moving on to the problem set. The first few problems were fairly straightforward. If you found that you were having difficulty with these problems, you probably need to go back and rework them so that you're coming up with the correct solutions. I did want to zoom in on problem number 2. I used the rainbow method to show the jump between 34 and 33, which was -1. The jump between 33 and 32 was -1. From 32 to 31 was -1, and so on until I got to 29. The pattern I was looking for was less 1 or take away 1. On B, our numbers were increasing by 10 from 53 up 10 to 63, up 10 to 73, up 10 to 83, up 10 to 93. So we were adding 10 every time, or we were getting 10 more every time. Okay, on problem number 3, I continued to use the pattern, the rainbow jump, so I would know what my rule was. So these are the numbers that you should have had. Oops, sorry about that. These are the numbers that you should have had. This rule was adding 1. For letter B, it was taking away 10. For letter C, it was taking away 1. And for letter D, it was adding 10. If you're having trouble with that, you need to go back and watch the video again or rework your problems so that you have a better understanding. Okay, moving on to the second part of the problem set. The arrow way was very well explained on the videotape, and I don't think you would have too much trouble with that, showing your jumps. Down to the word problems, I did recommend that you break 23 into 2 10s and 3 1s, and that you break 12 apart into 1 10 and 2 1s so that you could do your arrow way model. from 39 plus 10 up to 49, plus 10 up to 59, which would have been your two tens, up 1 to 60, up another 1 to 61, up another 1 to 62, which would have been your three ones, ending up with 62 total bags that Isaiah made. And then down on problem B, breaking 12 apart into tens and 1 10 and 2 ones. From 61 down 10 to 51 would take care of that 10, down 1 to 50, and down 1 more to 49. That would take care of those 2 ones. Then there would be 49 balloons left. Once you, I shouldn't have done that so fast. I want to give you a chance to be able to pause that video if you need to, so that you can check your work. All right, so after that, you need to, once you've got that completed and are feeling comfortable, then of course you need to move on to the exit ticket. Hopefully you made the changes that I asked you to make, and that you're taking things out 3 numbers and sending it to your teacher. You have a great day of learning.